So this is pretty typical of what happens when box turtles are attacked by pets. It looks like she was sitting in water for a couple of days, and the one moment she came up out of the water. Yep.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes.
These are all eastern box turtles, and I love the variety and variation in the way they look. I mean, just look at the difference in this pile right here. They're so different looking, each and every one of them, and all of them just absolutely beautiful. Look at those faces. So these girls all unfortunately cannot be released back into the wild, which is a huge shame because their populations are on the decline here in New Jersey. The biggest issue being habitat destruction and fragmentation. Unfortunately, the areas where they live are now being intersected by roads, and people are moving in with their pets, their cats and their dogs, which love to chew on box turtles. So unfortunately, that is the situation here. But these girls are living a good life. They have a really huge pen here and lots of shade and space to go, but they just like hanging out here in the sun for the day. And people ask me, they're like, why don't you guys breed them? Unfortunately, it's very hard to release box turtles into the wild because of their behavior, specifically when it comes to site fidelity. Site fidelity is the behavior they display, which basically means that they have to stay in the areas that they're born in. They can't really live outside of the areas that they're born. So it's kind of a shame. So it's pretty typical, unfortunately, when we get them with these severe injuries caused by pets, we have to do amputations and they can't be released back into the wild. But this guy, I thought he was missing a leg, but she just faked me out. Sorry, go, bye. Man, look at you, you're gorgeous. This thing is so red. She's so red. She looks almost like a wood turtle. Look at her little orange front leg there. Unfortunately, she's only got one orange front leg. We had to amputate her other leg. Let me see, I can show you. I won't freak her out too much, but we had to amputate her other leg because she was attacked by someone's cat. Keep your damn cats indoors. In this case, a dog decided to chew on this box turtle. And ended up taking away a good part of his really beautiful shell, as you can see. So he can no longer really close himself up and be protected from predators, and therefore he's unreleasable. We have a lot of injuries that are typically just like this, and it's unfortunate. So please do supervise your pets when they are outside and make sure they're not attacking native animals. Our box turtles need all of the help they can get, especially here in New Jersey. Here in New Jersey, they are definitely on the decline, and we need to do what we can to protect them. Go be beautiful on exhibit. God, you were just hit by a car, weren't you, poor thing? It looks like she was sitting in water for a couple of days, and the one moment she came up out of the water. Yep. Okay, so I'm working triage today, and this little girl just came in. Heartbreaking. It's a female, so she's probably looking to lay her eggs. I can tell that she's been sitting in water for a couple of days, especially these rainy days. She's been sitting in a puddle. You can see the ring around the water line. She came up, crossed the road, probably to get ready to lay her eggs, and I'm assuming got hit by a car. You're distracting me from my turtle talk. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna get him some help right away. We're gonna have our vets take a look at her and salvage her. She's probably got eggs, so we're gonna probably end up treating her and holding on to her to make sure she's not egg bound, and hopefully she'll make a speedy recovery, the poor thing. This is what happens though when people are driving down the road, and unfortunately people will try to do this on purpose. It's been my experience that people do this on purpose, so hopefully we can get her cleaned up and in good shape. Ugh. But unfortunately, it's a big problem here in New Jersey. As you can see, this is our triage center, and we've got turtles, lots of turtles. And unfortunately, one of the ugly truths about box turtles is that unlike most animals, if you keep them in bad conditions, most animals quickly expire and will die. Unfortunately, turtles and tortoises don't do that. And this is actually Hamburger. His name is Hamburger. I didn't name him. But he's one of our permanent residents here at the sanctuary. And I use him for my educational programs to show people what happens when you take a box turtle from the wild and you keep it inappropriately. He was obviously not fed the right food. He was not give him proper access to sunlight. What else, buddy? You had a lot of things going on. So as a result, he's severely deformed and will never be able to return to the wild. Now, his beak is really huge. It was monstrous. He looked like he had a shovel coming from the top of his head when he first got here a couple of years ago. We've trimmed it down significantly and he can eat with it, but because of his deformity, we can't go too short or he won't be able to eat properly. You can tell his shell is completely deformed, leaving him with a little frog butt. He obviously would never be able to live out in the wild. He would not have a way of protecting himself from predators because his little hinge doesn't really close him up and protect his body from any potential predators. So he's going to be living out the rest of his hopefully long life here with us. But I just wanted to show you what happens when you take one out of the wild and don't care for it properly. It won't necessarily die. It'll go on and suffer for a long time. So please do me a favor, leave those box turtles in the wild where they belong, okay? So people are always asking me how you can help a box turtle when you come across one. The best thing to do is leave it alone. Do not pick it up. Do not take it home. It does not want to be your pet. It doesn't need to be your pet. A turtle this size is probably decades old and has been doing its thing for a long time. It doesn't need you to help it. Trust. The next best thing you can do is if you come across a box turtle that's crossing a road, cross it in the direction that it was going, not where it came from. Because she knows she wants to go somewhere, probably to lay her eggs specifically. Yeah. And finally, if you're in a position to educate people about these amazing creatures, please do so. In our lifetime, we can totally see them disappearing over most of their range. And it's a real crime because this is such a spectacularly iconic animal in North America and it deserves all of our protection. These were the first inhabitants, don't forget that.
I love coming home and being greeted by my friendly neighborhood box turtle. Hi baby girl, isn't she pretty? Have lots of babies. I love you.